All right, good afternoon, Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, June 15, 2021. Time is 6 p.m. Call this meeting to order. Establishment of Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If one of you would like to do the prayer, Mr. Marks.
Dear Lord, as we gather here today, we ask that you keep your protecting hand over those who protect our community. Help us and guide us in our decisions we make, that it be to your will and that of our community and the great state of Texas.
Amen.
Establishment of a quorum. I have Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Butler, Commissioner Santana, Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Avalos is absent. Public comment must notify the board to speak on certain agenda items. Public can comment by calling 915-213-3008. The PIN for this meeting is 764-320-426#. That's 915-213-3008. PIN code is 764-320-426#. Consent agenda. Commissioner, anything you would like to pull out of the consent agenda?
Negative, sir.
Second. A motion by Commissioner Butler, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana.
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner Avalos absent. Regular agenda, discussion on important information on Red Cross El Paso chapter by James Davis and Jessica Bernard. Do we have the people from the Red Cross available for the presentation?
Yes, we're here.
You may begin.
Thank you. Is it okay if I share my screen now?
Is it okay if you?
I'm sorry, if I share my screen, it sounds like there's some feedback.
Yes, yes, you may.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Commissioners, for having us here today with you. We are excited to be here to share some information with you about the Red Cross and what we're doing here in the community. So first to start with the American, hearing some feedback on the pause.
Maybe the speaker. I think we should put ourselves on mute now. So she doesn't hear her own voice.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that took care of it. Thank you so much. So just to share some valuable information about the Red Cross with you today. So the mission of the American Red Cross is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies. And we do that by mobilizing the power of our volunteers and through the generosity of our donors. And the reason we came here today is to ensure that our community is receiving services and to make sure that that you have the information that you need to make sure that they receive those services. So I just want to share a real brief story with you. Imagine for a moment, if you will, it's 3:14 in the morning and you awake to smoke alarms, beeping, loud sounds going off, and your home is filled with smoke. And you know to get out of your house. You have children there and your children are sleeping and you start screaming for them and your spouse rushes you out of the house. And you go to your safe spot to meet, and luckily all of your family is there. And this is a story that happened for a family here in El Paso County about 2 years ago, and they all made it out safely. Part of that reason that they made it out safely was because the American Red Cross was there for every step of the way. And so what would you do next? The next steps would be call 911, of course, make sure your family's safe, and then call the Red Cross. And we are there to provide financial assistance in the event that there's an emergency, that people are affected by disasters. So with that, when I say that we're there every step of the way, from the reason the family was able to get out was because the children had practiced preparedness lessons that they had learned in school. And they took those lessons home and they provided them to their family. Those were lessons provided by the Red Cross and the programs that we provide to our youth here in the community. So as the children took that home, that they said, let's practice, and they practiced their escape plans and how to get out. Now, the Red Cross does partner with the local fire departments, and we have volunteers that will put smoke alarms into, please know that that's up and coming again. We'll start that program back up as soon as COVID ends, and we're able to be back in the home safely. But we do partner with our community partners, such as the fire departments, to put free smoke alarms into homes. And then the next steps are, once you call the Red Cross, we will assign a caseworker to come out or virtually work with you to provide that financial assistance. And so all of these services are free of charge. We don't ask about income. We don't ask about insurance. We don't charge your insurance. We don't have anything to do with the insurance. All of the donations are made to the American Red Cross from the community, private donors, and then some funding from community partners. So I just want to share with you what we do and how that works. Some of the things that we're able to provide for immediate assistance, they're able to use the financial assistance for lodging, clothing, food, If they have mental health needs at this point, need to talk to someone, we're able to provide a licensed person to talk with them about that, professional to talk with them. And if they have other needs that we're not able to assist with, we've partnered with community partners who would be able to provide some of those needs for them, all free of charge. And so I just wanted to take this time today to say thank you for having us here and share our number with you. These are currently West Texas chapter covers El Paso, Hudspeth, and Culberson County. And if you are yourself or you know someone that's been affected by a disaster, please call 1-800 Red Cross, and the numbers there. They're at the bottom. We look forward to working with you. Any questions?
Ms. Davis, Mike Diaz, just wanted to thank you for doing a small presentation, and we're passing all this information to the other volunteer fire chiefs, chief here at the district, both chiefs. They'll be on top of it as well, and hopefully if the need arises, we can start working with you all and make it grow. So, God willing. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Are you also extending your services to assisting the firemen? They're out in the house fire. Because I know you do that in the city of El Paso. Are you doing that also for the volunteers in the county?
Yes. Working with the volunteer fire departments in the county and with the city as well. Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Sure. And if there's any other information you need, just let me know. We can get that information to you. Happy to work with you.
Let me ask you a question. Do y'all have any flyers or pamphlets or anything? Maybe we can get some pamphlets to keep at the fire departments, and if something arises, we can just give them a pamphlet and they can call you all direct.
Sure. They just call the 1-800 Red Cross number direct. We can develop something with you. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, Jessica can get some out to me. I can get them from her husband, and then I can bring it back to the district office. That way y'all don't have to make the drive down here.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so some of the disasters mentioned, some of the disasters that we've worked with over the last few years. Apparently, we've had tornadoes here in El Paso. I talked about that to bring together this presentation. We home fires, flooding, cars and homes, straight line winds if the house is damaged from those and people are displaced from their homes. So if there's anything we can help with, just let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Item number 6, discussion on important information from Red Cross El Paso chapter by Ms. Davis, Jessica Bernal. Informational purposes only.
Thank you, Chief.
Item number 7, discussion on strategic planning presentation by Mike Montgomery. Mr. Montgomery, are you available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just had to figure out how to make the technology work tonight.
All right.
Welcome.
First off, just want to thank everybody for allowing us to come in and do an update to this proposal that we submitted back in, it's been almost a year now, in July of 2020. And just want to again thank the board for allowing us to come in. And I'd just like to walk through the scope of work just very, very quickly. Don't have a presentation other than just to walk you through it real quick to understand what the project plan scope of work is, and then be able to answer any questions that you may have. So basically, the whole idea behind the strategic plan, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The whole idea behind the strategic plan is to give the district and the citizens of the community that you serve an accurate and timely review of the service needs and expectations, identify any potential gaps, prioritize plans to address those gaps, and then come up with a plan of implementation with a way then to measure project or progress. The project is divided into phases that start off with the initiation, and that really is just to develop a work plan, identify the project contact team, make sure that we have a good understanding of the actual expectations and anything that may have changed from the original proposal. Then the key part here is the acquisition and review of background information provided by the district. So there's a little bit of heavy lifting here that we'll walk you through, where we're looking through, make sure we've got a good, accurate picture of the community characteristics, the demographics, what the growth patterns are looking like, what expectations are out there, and then to look at historical data, response data, and other information, budget data, records management, things like that, provided by the district. And that in all is the first phase. The second phase then is to develop a customer-centered or community-centered assessment. And this starts with a planning workshop. We had originally proposed this as a virtual planning workshop. Now with the COVID-19 restrictions beginning to ease a little bit, if the district would feel more comfortable with an in-person workshop, we believe that this will be more beneficial, and we think that it will be more effective. Also included in that planning workshop is a series of online surveys, and also meeting with a group of community leaders that are identified by the district, make sure that we understand their needs, their expectations, and their perception of emergency services as provided by the district now. And that's really the meat of the project. Then phase 3 is where we get into the actual production and delivery of the strategic planning document. And the way that we like to work here, we hope that would be acceptable to the district and meet your needs, is we develop a 75% strategic plan draft document for your review, and then you come back and look at that, make sure that there are no factual errors, but also more importantly, to make sure there are no surprises or unintended consequences of the results of the surveys and the planning workshop. Then build all that into, after we get your comments and review back, go ahead and make sure that we've got all those corrections built in, and then provide you with a 90% document, which then is a final draft review, so we can all take a look at it and make sure that we've got everything covered that you had asked for. And then in turn, present that back to the district in a timely manner, and also then come out and make a presentation to the district board, and also anybody else that you think would benefit from that. And I'll be glad to take any questions or comments that you have.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery, for that overview. For all 3 phases, how long does it typically take for the process to be completed?
Typically, the process takes anywhere from about 30 to 60 days. And the 30 days is pretty aggressive, and that is assuming that we're going to get the information provided by the district back in 2 weeks or less. What we've found in our experience is it typically takes about 1 month to get all that information collected, gathered, make sure that we've got all the information that we need. Then we like to have about a 2-week period, if you will, to review that information, schedule the workshops, and then conduct those workshops, and then anywhere from a 2-week to a 1-month process to develop the draft and the final reports. So what I would recommend is that we look at from the date that if we are the successful bidder and you award the contract, anywhere from 60 to 90 days following execution of that contract.
Great, thank you. And how many ESDs have you been through this process with for?
Oh, personally, I've been through probably 20 of these. And in fact, hi, Ken, didn't even see you there. Good to see you, brother. But I specialize in working with ESDs in Texas. but we also have done these for municipal fire departments and for volunteer fire departments, EMS agencies, and even law enforcement agencies across the country. But specializing, that's my forte, is working with districts.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
One quick question, Ken, and this is more for you. On something like strategic planning, does that have to go through a RFQ or RFP, or can they just use as professional services?
Were you directing that at me, or were you directing that at Mr. Campbell?
Ken Campbell. I know he's there.
Were y'all talking to me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear my question?
I did not, Chief. I'm sorry.
In order to go for a strategic planning proposal, do we have to go out for bid on it, or is this considered under professional services?
It's not professional services as defined in the statute because it's not architectural engineering, that kind of stuff. And no, you don't have to go out for a bid as far as state. Well, how much is it? How much is it?
He's going to have to requote that, correct, Mr. Montgomery?
I think we can live with the quote that we've got in there. Again, we're comfortable with it. It's a little bit light, but we're talking under 15,000.
Under how much?
15.
If it's under 50, you do not have to bid it. If it's over 50, you do. And unless you have, and I think we have a policy about bidding stuff for a lower amount internally.
Yes, the district's policy is anything over 2,000.
Okay. So unless y'all want to waive the policy, you're going to have to bid it out in some way.
Can I, let me ask this question of the district and of you also. We have this, we have a contract under, I can't remember the name of it. It's a cooperative purchasing contract. Similar to HGAC, similar to Buy Board. It's a different group. And, but we also provide these services under that contract, if that would be of benefit to the district.
That would be. Do you know the name of the entity, Mike, and if we're eligible to participate in it?
Give me just a quick second to look that up. The short answer is yes. The district can, they just have to sign up to register with the company or with the organization, but there is no charge to do that. So let me grab that real quick, and I can also forward this information, get it to you.
Yeah, we'll probably need that, Mike, and then also, what is the price that they have on that site for your services?
Stand by, and I get that right to you, Cam.
Okay.
If I can get my computer to behave, I can get that. Yeah, the pricing for the GPO base price is 15,000.
Okay.
On that, and Ken, I'm going to have to look that thing up, and I can get you the information. I thought I had it on my computer, but unfortunately, I do not.
Okay. What's the name of the entity, sir?
That's what I'm going to have to get back to you. I thought I had it with me, but unfortunately, I don't.
Okay. That's your base price, and then obviously you're probably getting more than your base.
Well, what we'll do is since we had originally bid that at 13, I've got the authority to go ahead and just give you that base price, and I'm very comfortable with that. So we could just say 15,000 and go from there. I mean, it is 15,000. It would not deviate from that, and that's inclusive of all expenses, travel, out of pocket, and so forth.
So that would help, but you still have the internal policy of the $2,000, so y'all would have to vote to waive it or something.
Doing away with that policy, or?
No, making an exception for the policy, just for this.
Hey, Ken, question for me. would be a cooperative purchasing agreement, would that meet the intent of that policy, or no, it would still have to go out for bid?
Well, as I understand the policy, we have to bid on everything that's $6,000. That's an internal policy. Obviously, 15.
Because you didn't have that to approve.
Fully understand. Thank you for the clarification.
Just information.
Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen. That's, I think, all the questions that we have. We are going to be looking into this. And Mike, if you can send me that information to my email on Chief Esparza, I'll take a look at it and present it to the board.
And Mike, if you could copy me on that, please, sir.
He's muted.
I think you're muted. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Stan, yeah, I would be glad to do that. I'll give the copy to you too, Ken.
Thank you, Mike.
Item number 7, discussion on strategic planning presentation by Montgomery for informational purposes only. Item number 8, discussion on communications report by Elva Ramos. Elva, are you there?
Hi. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
For the month of May, there were 58 calls in Clint, 128 for Fabens, 123 in Montana Vista, 141 in San Elizario, 227 in Socorro, and 150 in West Valley. As far as the COVID calls go, there was 1 confirmed call in Clint, 4 confirmed calls in Fabens, none in Montana Vista, 1 in San Elizario, 2 in Socorro, and 0 in West Valley. For the fire marshal inspections, there were a total of 23, 17 permits issued, and 3 agriculture permits. For the all calls versus the breakdown of Monday 1800 through Friday at 600, and then Friday at 1800 through Monday at 600, if you could see for the total of calls, there's a discrepancy between the all calls to the breakdown, which is 4, which were 2 for Clint and 2 for Fabens. Are there any questions?
I think every month we see a betterment of our response for all the, yes. Remember one time we were in the 20s, 30s. Yes. Now we're down to 2.
Great.
Thank you.
Really nice progress. Thank you for the breakdown.
Very, very nice.
Any questions?
None.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8, discussion on communications report by Elva Ramos for informational purposes only. Item number 9, discussion and update on volunteer recruitment leads, which are provided by ESD2 to volunteer chiefs. Number of applicants interviewed and processed, submitted by Vice President Mike Diaz.
Chief, I put this, and fellow commissioners, I put this on the agenda. Only reason being that I know that the district had put it on Facebook, asking for volunteers, recruitments and stuff for all the volunteer fire departments. And I'm just trying to get an update as to where we are, how many of the applicants were interviewed and did become volunteer fire people for the fire departments. I'm just trying to get a number, see how it's working. If it's working, let's keep it going. I don't know if the fire chiefs are providing any feedback to you all, Chief?
We are not receiving feedback. Once we submit this this information, it's sent out to the chiefs, and from there we don't know unless we see them later on the road in our rosters. But you do have a list of who's been applying to what departments.
Yes.
And their email addresses that have been forwarded. I know that Fabens was very proactive. Clint tried to be a little proactive on it. Chief Adler requested that we do not email him, that we refer everyone to his website. I think we had a couple from Montana Vista. So it's just different in different departments.
you know, if we could get an update, I mean, I know we're just trying to help, and an update would be great.
What I can do is I can cross-reference all these to our current roster for next meeting and tell you which ones actually made it or none of them made it to the departments. I know that we had, to that one posting that we put on social media, I think we had upwards of 10,000 views for that. And it was getting passed around a lot through social media. So I think it worked out in our best interest.
When you said don't need help, but to go to his website, he's referring to crew not
Angie, not to be emailing him the potential candidates to refer them to his website.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So as you know, recruitment and retention is a lifeblood for sustainment.
My directive to her is to keep emailing. We will in turn also tell them they gotta go to the website, but we need to make sure that the chiefs are receiving the information of the potential volunteers that are coming to their departments.
So there is a list somewhere of all of the leads for candidates that have been emailed to the chiefs.
Well, yes, from us.
Yeah.
That's theirs.
Okay, do you have that list?
Yes, it should be in your Dropbox.
But I only see for Clint Davis.
Those are the most departments. I think there was only 1 or 2 for West Valley.
Okay.
But the most departments that I have received is Clinton Davis, and maybe 1 for Montana Vista.
I saw that Chief Ramos. Reyes, he was like big time on it. I mean, he was on it big time. And I know that he beat Chief Cordero out of some of the recruits. That's how fast he was getting on it. He was returning phone calls ASAP.
And what we're doing also is if the candidate does not feel comfortable in that department, we have 5 others that potentially will take them. You know what I mean? It's not that they may be too far or they didn't like what they heard in that department. That happens, so we're referring them to the other departments. There's a place for everybody.
One of the things that I wondered is if there's a way to standardize the recruitment process, right? So if
Yes.
West Valley doesn't need any more recruits, right? They're good. What are some of the best practices that they can share about the recruitment strategy with some of the other departments that might be struggling? Same for like Montana Vista, if they're okay with volunteers. What are they doing differently that we can share best practices with the others? If West Valley has a system for people to engage with them on their website, should we encourage the other departments to also have that?
Well, the way that West Valley, I know that came from there, is that they refer you to the website because they want you to read on what it entails to be there.
Right.
If you show up to the meeting, they're going to give you an application, and then they're going to give you a packet for you to fill out of what did you read out of that. That means you did your research.
Yeah, you know
So,
what the expectations
What the
are.
expectations. So I can see that the departments are now putting a little bit more effort because I'm seeing that there's more requests for training, there's more requests for different things that they never requested. So we are seeing more of a participation and they are growing little by little, but now they're in the infancy stages of them growing their departments. So we are seeing a little bit of a growth in some of the departments that were kind of stagnant or very low. So we are seeing a growth. So we can definitely put something together and see if you all agree that this is the best practice model. It's going to come down to that.
Is there an opportunity here to have some type of symposium where we can bring someone in that works with recruitment, that gives them some tools and some, for that trade to, I'm sure, that's not my wheelhouse to recruit, maybe, I don't know. Where,
And I believe we did it 1 year. State Firemen's and Fire Marshal Association puts in a retention and recruitment training. And I think it's about that time of about three years since we've done it. But they even provide you posters, they provide you, there's an 800 number where you can call, and they'll direct you in your area where you can volunteer.
or even assistance with the marketing piece. I know one of the chiefs put together a pretty good product, better than I could do, but then came back to ESD, some of the folks here, enhanced that even more. I think, as we look at some of these marketing teams, they're good investments. They can target that marketing either through social media, through signage, through, television or radio, where it goes directly to who we're looking for. It's a good, I don't want, it's a lot of effort, a lot of.
Like targeted marketing, yeah.
Yeah, targeted marketing where we don't waste our time, right? Gone through that original plan. Gotcha, that's good.
You can put a proposal, right before COVID, I was working on a proposal for a, kind of like a commercial on how to recruit. And I think I showed a couple of you what I was intending to do. I think COVID did, and we kind of just got too busy doing other things, but I think we can bring that back up to the table and get all our departments involved, all of you as commissioners involved, to try to recruit more people into our district.
That might be good to do during budgeting. So go ahead and budget for marketing. We can go through that process.
There's some great agency stuff here that it's right in the wheelhouse.
Well, kudos, Chief, and to all the chiefs, and thank you for the update.
Item number 9, informational purposes only. We'll have a report on how many people made it.
Report next month.
Sorry? Oh.
There'll be a report next month on how many people up for this meeting.
Yeah.
Item number 10, discussion on report by Tommy Cano. Good afternoon, Tommy. I know you're there.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I apologize for not being there in person. I wanted to be there in person. I finished investigation in Las Cruces about 5:30, so didn't think I'd make it on time. So I decided to do it this way, the old way, of course, but hopefully next month we'll be there in person and provide more updates in person. Our report for this month has been the interviews that we posted for Mariana's assistant position. We went through some resumes, postings, and we actually came down to one candidate that's already actually assisting Mariana, somebody that Chief identified as somebody that would be interested in working for the district. We had to do a little bit of research to ensure that there was no violation of any contractual agreement, potentially between ESD and the agency that she was working for. We pretty much gave him the green light. Everything looked good. My understanding is that she had to go through the ropes of the applying with ESD, and I believe she was supposed to start yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, Chief. I don't know if she did or not under the ESD. She did? Okay. And so that's one of the reports. Through the month, Chief and I have had discussions on personnel matters, which I don't know that we want to discuss those here, but it was some personnel issues that Chief had encountered with one of his staff. We had a lengthy discussion on steps to take, possibly even discuss disciplinary action up to and including separation. We went through those discussions, gave them our advice. The others were 2 staff members that we needed to have a discussion with, and on the importance of adhering to Chief's orders. We had a Teams meeting with one of them. He understood the position that he's in, and when he is asked to stay beyond the hours that he's scheduled to work, that he needed to do so. The other, I believe, Chief had a discussion, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, but I believe that other person resigned.
That's a negative. He was having personal issues, and we will discuss that a little bit further.
Okay. Yes. So again, don't want to get into great detail on that. I'm sure that's something we can discuss, as Chief just said, probably through executive session. We're doing some research on the most recent EEOC charge. Not sure if Chief has already circulated this information with the board, but we were served with the EEOC charge, and we're currently doing some research on and going back on some of the discussions we had with previous staff member who filed the EEOC charge, so we can prepare a position statement. I know Ken was, I guess, quarterbacking this a little bit until it got assigned to a local attorney here by the insurance company, So that is something that Gilbert Sanchez with Kim Smith is taking over. And I'm sure we'll give you updates as we go through the formalities of the EOC charge. And I believe that's all I have on my list. Chief, is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, I think you've covered it all, Tommy. We'll figure out how to go into executive with legal and yourself right now. That's where in a different group now.
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioners, have any questions?
Those are,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
10, informational purposes only. Item number 11, discussion report by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, we have lots going on in the district level right now. We've continued our efforts with the county for vaccination around our territories within the city. We are now part of a team, smaller teams within the Office of Emergency Management in the county. We've also begun to have meetings to do a bi-national vaccination effort between the city of El Paso and the city of Juarez. We're looking to try to complete 50,000 vaccines within 1 month. And I say try, that's what we're going to do. It's all going to be contingent on if we get the staffing from UMC and all the parties involved. Ms. Butler is taking part in this as she deals with a lot of the people across the border. And we feel honored that the judge is tapping us to take over this event to try to make it work. I think us as an ESD is very capable of it. It's just going to take a lot of management of the times for everybody to make it work. And our fleet is still coming in. We were supposed to have had all our fleet the beginning of the year, but apparently we still don't have parts for some of those trucks to be built. The last batch of trucks is not ready, scheduled to be built until mid-July. Parts come in. There's the fire station, as you all recall, we took pictures up there. So it'll be, I think, maybe already under construction to be completed in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be looking good. It's just busy. Any questions?
when do you expect the vaccines, 50,000 financial vaccine program?
Well,
When do you
that,
expect it to start?
we're hoping by the 28th, maybe even sooner, depending on if everybody gives the okay. We're waiting on GSA to approve for us to, this event will be held at the Tornillo Port of Entry. So they have to give the all clear for us to use that facility. Funding will be coming through the county, and they will handle how they get repaid from the partners across the board.
Chief, how do yourself and Assistant Chief Saucedo and the rest of your staff feel about doing and spearheading this? And is it doable?
It's doable. It's we don't have that kind of manpower, but of course the county is also trying to provide us all the resources that we need, partnering up with different agencies. A lot of them are kind of backing up a little bit, but if we have the right resources, we can.
Any way that we can help? I mean, I'm here too. I mean, we've all helped before in the past, and we're here as well.
We're going to give it the almighty try.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Item number 11 for informational purposes only. Item number 12, discussion and action on the purchase of garage doors for the Sally Port at the district office. Commissioners, you should see there. We had a quote from Master Teams for the garage doors and the windows to close up the big garage in the back. Try to keep the pigeons out, plus when our mechanics are trying to work on the big trucks. However, we're running into problems that nobody wants to quote doors anymore. Even Master Teams is having a problem because the price of the materials is going up daily. So if we're not looking to get a door within 1 or 2 days, they don't want to quote it. Because they could change it if we wait a month, and they don't want to have to re-quote. So I don't know how to handle that right now. So Mario's been struggling. This quote has already been out for a couple of months, and we're still trying to get 2 other quotes. How would you like for us to proceed with that?
You said the price of material gets looked off Not wood doors, like aluminum.
The price of metal and steel are going up, aluminum, copper, and everything that's going into these doors are going up.
So should we approve a certain amount?
Well, what I would ask again is that we haven't abolished that policy, that once we get 3 more quotes, that we can run it by the president or vice president and ratify it at the next meeting. That way, if the price is right when we get the quote, we have 3 refundable quotes, we can issue a purchase order right there and then. Because if we have to wait for the next meeting, then that price is no longer there, right?
Don't we have, isn't there a way that we can like sole source if we haven't received other?
If we go out, if we post it out for bid, and then that's the way we can do it. That's the one way that we can do it. But right now, even if they quote it right now, and I'm gonna say, we're gonna make a decision at the next board meeting. If they put it down, then we can't honor those prices.
Chief, do they have to be registered with you all, with us, so that they can bid?
Well, they have to be a registered business. They can register with us, making sure they have insurance,
Right.
making sure that, because we pay no money upfront.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let me make some phone calls tomorrow to some contractors. Maybe we can get some more bids, and hopefully this will help us out in making a wise decision, because I mean, you know.
And of course, some of them just want to sell you the door, and we don't want that installers of that kind of door, so we want an all-encompassing service to enclose that garage and then have it
Turnkey.
We did remove the garage door, so it did have, well, not garage doors, it was a sally port, so it had the screening doors.
Right.
They were damaged when we purchased the building, so we did remove them because even ugly. We were doing the vaccination event, so we didn't want the birds roosting on top of them, so we removed them. They didn't work. We want solid doors, so where if it's windy, our mechanics can work indoor without having to worry about the wind and the dirt.
Nice.
So what are we gonna do?
So I would like to action to still allow for us to confer with one of the board members, president and or the vice president, if he's not available, and ratify at the next meeting with one of the 3 quotes.
Once we get the 3 quotes.
We'll get 3 quotes, but we'll make a decision right there and say, here's the PO. That way we don't have to wait for the 30 days to 15 days where they're no longer going to honor those quotes.
I'll be in touch with some people tomorrow.
You all okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve. No.
The motion will be,
Well, the motion is to
To approve,
approve the purchase once we get the 3 quotes.
Once we
We'll
get the 3
ratify
and
it.
it has to be approved by either the board president or the vice president. And ratified at the next. Make sense?
Makes
You
sense.
deal with that, Burbidge?
yes.
So you make a motion on that? Second then.
A motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana.
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Avalos was not present. Item number 13, discussion and action on the purchase of the fire alarm system for district office. Commissioners, also, we have one, and I think that one is probably going to be our lowest bid. They are under a Region 19 buy board. Locally, it comes in at $12,724. Now, keep in mind that all these new upgrades that we have, we just had a meeting with all the staff of what's left in the budget and can we feasibly do this. So there is plenty of money still in the budget. We've been doing very well, diligent with all the funding. So we still have plenty of money and we can do upgrades to the fire alarm here and other facilities that we need. So this one does only needs one quote as it's part of the Region 19 by board cooperative here in El Paso.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Commissioner Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana, Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos was absent. Item number 14, discussion and action on allowing one more member of the Clint Fire Department to attend the Advanced Technical Swiftwater Training in Pflugerville, Texas. The amount is $3,000, which is $600 per student. Commissioners, if you remember last month, we added some members of the Clint Fire Department that one extra day to get his days approved at work. I did confirm with Commissioner Santana. He said to go ahead and allow it because you don't want that member to take his days off for nothing. And we're just ratifying the motion.
If everybody's good with it, yes, I make the motion to approve this.
I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz.
Just one clarification. If you said this already, sorry, I don't know if you but $3,000 at $600 per student,
Yes, because we're adding it because it's the amount that we're going to pay for all the students.
but it says one member allowing one.
Yes.
One
But
more member.
one more member.
Okay, so there's already.
There's already,
Approved,
2,400.
right?
This next one is $3,000. Correct?
correct.
Okay.
Who was the second? Commissioner Barnes? Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Right.
And Commissioner Barnes? Motion carries. Commissioner Avalos was absent. Item number 15, discussion and action on allowing Chief Esparza and the Board of Commissioners to attend the ESD to attend the safety fall event in Dallas, September 16th through the 18th. Commissioners, this is a new one. It's only in January, but since I know that a lot of people meet CEs, we did book some rooms just to make sure we had availability. Just need a motion and we all want to attend.
Is Mariana going to that?
She's gonna go in January. I'm also gonna try to add Chief Saucedo. I didn't add him there because I haven't talked to him about it. He was gonna get back to me. So it's the first time he will be.
Okay, so Mariana's, wait, she's not coming out this month?
No, because she's gonna go in January. She said she'd take January.
Okay.
I did tell her, you wanna go now or you wanna go in January? We can take one or the other. And she's like, I'll go in January. It's better. You gonna be able to make it, Chief?
I have to check my schedule.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
This will be for us, even Mariana, if Chief Saucedo does not make it. I have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner Avalos was not present. Item number 16, discussion and action on the purchase of a Polaris for the San Luis Fire Department under special projects fiscal year 2020-2021. Commissioners, I would like to put this item for next month. Have a motion.
You say the principal of Polaris is what?
ATV.
Side by side is something.
You have that in- We do, but we're getting a lot of calls to the border where our vehicles cannot make it. So we toured that. I even took Commissioner Santana because there was, David's was brought in their Polaris or what's it called, the Razor. And we have a cracked cage on it because they were loading a 35-foot ladder on top of it. And that vehicle is not meant to do that. So we toured the area that they were using it. They're absolutely right. There is no way for a regular pickup to get over there. So now we have to re-evaluate how we're going to do rescue out there. The problem we're having is we have people that are coming over the border and getting stuck at the top or falling to their death, which we just saw a couple of days ago. We can't get there fast enough to try to get them. There's nothing really that we can use to alleviate that problem. We're trying to figure out what's the best and more efficient way for us to do it. Even if we buy a Polaris, we're gonna have to buy one that can accommodate carrying a ladder without causing more damage.
This thing's too small. I think people get no gear on this.
No, it's not the gear, it's the ladder.
What size ladder are you carrying? 30 foot?
35.
35 foot.
And we have a big one, the big Razor, it's out back, 4-passenger. They're throwing the ladder on top of it and they crack the roll cage on it. So I'll put it on the next agenda and see if that's the best and the only way that we can get it. A motion to delete. Motion. Second? Second. Well, I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second. By Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes? Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner Avalos was present. Item number 17, discussion and action on the contract with El Paso County under the American Rescue Funds. Commissioner, the funding for the two heavy command units was approved. I just need it was reviewed by legal and approved. And all I need is review all the approved for Commissioner Santana to sign.
I do have a couple of quick comments or questions, Chief.
I forgot that was. Go ahead.
Chief?
Go ahead.
Okay. Just so you know, we've got it set up so if funding fails or somebody cancels, we've got it sort of generally addressed. The big concern I have, and I know Chief's on top of this, Chief, did you get any extension of time from the vendor?
We did.
Okay. So I'm just concerned about timing, that, you know, we make sure we have the funds before we go ahead and issue the order, so that if we have to cancel for some reason, like the funds are not there or they're terminated because the government says, ARP says that's not going to work, that we are splitting the cost between us and the county, generally speaking, on that. The county pays it all for cancellation fees if they terminate, we pay it all if we terminate. So just so y'all know that. We just need to make sure that we really know we have it before we order.
Ken, just so you know, at the last Monday's meeting, Commissioner's Court took action on this. And not only did they take action, they also approved for a lump sum payment to that company. So all the money is coming directly from them all at once.
All right, and then I just have an aside on that is I got an email today back on the vaccine program, but I got an email today saying that Anna, the county attorney, wants to talk to me about it. I heard your presentation. Is there anything else that I need to know about that?
Don't know that somebody would be calling you, but we can talk offline to see who called you.
Okay.
Nobody's mentioned anything that they would be calling you about the vaccination.
Well, it's Anna Schumacher, and she sent me an email that says, I'd like to visit with you. Judge Samaniego this morning discussed with several stakeholders, including ESD, regarding vaccine administration in collaboration with Maquilas. Our team is working on that to assess the legal issues, and she just wants to talk to me. I just didn't know what other background information there may be, and you and I can talk about it offline, but I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Okay, we can have a talk offline.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you. So,
We never saw the final contract, but, so the county's paying the vendor directly?
they're gonna give us the money to pay him directly.
Okay. So we're just waiting for the payment from the county after we approve this.
Lump sum, all inclusive. They've never done that before, but since that's the way we do business, they looked at it. They had Wally look into it. It was not something where the county was gonna save any money. It's actually better that they paid up front. It's a reputable company. We have a bond guaranteeing that if the company goes belly up, the money is secured for them. So they're gonna go ahead and they authorize to pay the lump sum. So I just filled out the paperwork for our DUNS number so they can transfer the federal funds to us. And as soon as they get the contract, the process will begin. I'll have to issue a PO. We decided to wait till the end of the month just to make sure that if any ARPA changes came, they caught it before we did anything. So by the end of the month, there's no changes to it, because right now legal is saying that this is totally legal to do, and everything's going to be paid up front from them to us. In other words, they give us the money, we cut the check to, because we are the ones with the account with the vendor. $2.3 million.
And did you work up the MOU with, we're sharing it with the county, right? So
that'll be in another agenda item. All parties are right now reviewing how it's going to go. It's gonna be basically the same thing we have with the city of El Paso right now. We just signed one for that rehab unit that we agreed on a couple months ago with them. Same exact thing. They get to use it. There's no, I mean, we own it, we're responsible for it. Same exact thing. Just like I was able to use the city of El Paso's, big unit twice already. It broke down twice. But we did get to use it, and it's owned by them. And you will all get to see that before.
Yeah, the situation, disaster, whatever, when they come into play, who will have,
First, right,
right,
use.
be covered in the MOA.
If the vehicles are not available because they were already out there with ESD2 functions, then there is no hard turnover. If the vehicles are at our facility and they're available and nobody's using them, they can come in our facility, take the vehicle, call it out on the radio, because we all hear what's going on with the unit, call it out by the unit designation that it will be given, which we are talking about Command 901 and 902, which is they're assigned to the district. And that's how we'll know that those units are out and where they're at and who the driver is.
So they could take them at will versus without our knowledge.
So it's the same thing in the city of El Paso. I mean, a little bit different because over there it's at the 911 center. So the 911 center is restricted. That's where they house it. But here it'll be we can make it to where they can give a courtesy call just to make sure.
I think we'd want to know that we're responsible for it going on I-10.
Well, like I said, it will be called out on the radio if the unit leaves this, no matter who's driving.
Assuming that the situation is good.
Yeah. If it's big enough to where it's rolling out, it's because we're all there. Discussion and action on the contract with El Paso County Emergency Rescue Funds.
Move to approve.
Second.
We'll do a motion by Commissioner Butler, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Diaz?
Aye.
Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
And Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Avalos was not present. El Paso County SD2 is now entering into closed meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code 551-071 to consult with the district's attorney concerning all matters identified in the agenda, where the board members seek the advice of their attorney in privileged communications. Today is Tuesday, June 15th at 6:58.
Would it make sense for us to just stay here and change the team?
We'll wait and walk to the small, we can leave it on, we're not even gonna turn it on.
But there's a computer?
No.
Think they forgot about us, Tommy? Eating sandwiches?
It sounds like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna get a special invite or not, but they're probably eating sandwiches. You're right. Trying to read the mandate over here in El Paso County regarding masks. How are you guys doing over there as far as mask mandate for employers?
We're under the state. It's optional with the business
Okay.
and stuff. I still wear mine everywhere I go, or I at least try to, just to not be rude.
Yeah. And it's funny because now people are starting to look at you funny for that.
Yeah, they are, and it is what it is. I've got an old mother at home and stuff. I just look at them if they say anything. I just say, "Hey, I'm trying to protect you and everybody else around me."
That's exactly right.
She's had her vaccines. I've had mine, and I've had it, so I feel fairly safe. We're in the office here. We have loosened it up to where if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask around the office. We still do mandatory temperature checks when you come in and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's the best practice. I mean, why stay out of it? I don't know if you heard the news today. They were talking about, I guess, a new strain that's supposed to be worse than the previous strain, and that they're not sure whether the vaccine is working against that, and I don't know, man. I don't even know if I want to watch the news anymore because
well, and we're all
it's
getting exhausted by this, but and so far we've done good. I mean, I was afraid when all the emergency orders were released and everything that all of a sudden, we'd have a big spike. But so we haven't, fortunately. But it's also summertime, so
that's right. Well, I just last night I just reserved through Airbnb. I'm gonna go and try to relax out in San Diego because it's fresh out there, and we don't want to take too long a trip, so we're doing some short. I mean, it's a couple hours. It's a couple hour flight. So we've got a beach house that we found through Airbnb, and my family and I are going to go up there, spend a few days, 4th of July weekend, and my best friend lives out there in San Diego. So, I called him and I said, "Hey, how's everything out there?" And he says, "Well, they lifted the mask mandate, today, as a matter of fact."
Yeah.
And so,
I'm like, well, maybe people will start traveling again.
yeah. But then you hear this new strain and you're like, "Oh my God,
I know.
what else?" But I wonder if they were going to call you, or were they going to call
I don't know. I don't have any more invites, I don't think. I'm checking my Outlook and everything. I've got, the regular meeting here. Roger's calling me.
Oh, all right.
Hey, Chief.
Hey, Ken, are you on mute on that computer? Can you log off so make sure nobody hears you out there?
Okay, so me and Tommy need to log off, and you'll send us another invite, or?
No, we're doing it through the phone because we're in a small cell person, so we're live. We don't have a Teams meeting in here, a computer in here.
Okay, does Tommy need to call your phone too, or what?
I tried calling him, but he didn't answer. I was going to try to merge you both in.
I got him. Mike calling me. Sorry, gentlemen. I was chit-chatting with Ken.
Tommy, just answer my phone so I can merge you both in. We're just calling to see if Belinda's available.
Got it.
Stop you. All right? Yeah. Hey, you're here, brother. Hold on. Regular session, item number 19, discuss and approve the next meeting to take place on
July,
I'm sorry, we got to go back to item number 2, discuss and action on legal matters. This was informational purposes only. Item number 19, discuss and approve the next meeting to take place on July 20th.
I'm out of town that week.
Nope.
You all consider being on the week before.
13th. 13th,
It's up to you.
I
I got it.
I'll-
13th.
That's okay.
Yeah. I think I can make it up there.
Is everybody okay with that?
I will do my best.
If you can't.
The 14th would probably be better for me.
14th?
If that's okay with everybody.
It'll be a special meeting on the 14th because we're changing it from its regular Tuesdays. You okay?
I'm good.
I work on the 14th.
You good?
You can keep it on the 20th, it's okay, I just don't think
You want to go the 21st? Oh, you're on.
I'm on that one.
20th? 15th, 14th.
But you better vote on the strategic.
How about on the 19th? Probably wait till
Ready? So what day did we agree on? I'm sorry.
20th.
20th?
Keep it on
July
the
20th.
regular meeting.
6 PM.
You can dial
July 20th at 6 PM. So a motion? I'm sorry?
Yeah, you can do it.
in. Can you dial in?
As long as the government doesn't change that, I think you can.
Okay.
Have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Diaz, second by Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Commissioner Diaz? Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it was.